Why do we have elections? If every single decision we make, you can get an injunction, or throw it to the courts. Enough is enough. Because right now, the federal government's broken bail system is letting far too many criminals back onto the streets just days or even hours right after being arrested. Enough is enough. There's so many great judges, first of all, and there's great JPs. I'm a strong believer in our judicial system, but it's out of control now. Like you see these criminals getting out on bail not once or twice, 4 or 5 times, and going out and committing heinous crimes. There's a story that someone was out on bail 5 times and went and killed a young lady. You know, this is absolutely ridiculous how these judges keep letting people out over and over and over again. I'm just done with it. We're going to hire tough on crime judges, tough on crime JPs to make sure that they follow the law and keep these people in jail because they're just being released. You could go in and kick in a door, put a gun to someone's head with kids in the house, terrorize that house, and guess what? By the time they get arrested and get out, it's the next day. Then they start mocking our police in the back of the police car. Don't worry, I'll be out by the time you start your shift. And what happens? They're out before they get, before they come back on duty. The system is broken, and there's a lot of terrible, terrible bleeding heart judges out there. You know something? If it happened to them, they might take a different look at it. And that's not a knock against all the judges, because there's good qualified judges. We have great chief justices. Matter of fact, probably the best in the country. But the system's broken. And once these judges get into their position, they have this sense of entitlement. That's what drives me crazy. We were democratically elected as a government, and I always say the legislature is supreme, meaning the people are supreme. When you get a mandate to do something, you can't have judges constantly overruling the government. Or I have an idea. And then again, I'm going to emphasize, not all the judges. I've said it 3 times. But why don't we have the next election, the PC party, the Liberal Party, the NDP party, the Green Party, and the Judges Party? Because they overturn everything, right down to the bike lanes. So, we get democratically elected, and some judge slaps an injunction on bike lanes. Don't the judges have anything better to do than worry about if we're taking out bike lanes or not taking out bike lanes? One judge says, yeah, not a problem. The next judge, not because of law, because of their ideology. Their ideology is thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't take out the bike lanes. What right do they have, an unelected, politically appointed judges, determining our budgets? Because of the decisions the judges have made in the past have cost us $10 billion. And we ran on a mandate. We got elected democratically. Last time I checked, there hasn't been any judges elected. Maybe that's the problem. We should do what the U.S. does. Let's start electing our judges, holding them accountable. And that's my rant for the day, because I've just had it. We get elected to move forward, and some judge, because of the ideology, decides, well, let's put an injunction on bike lanes. You've got to be kidding me. The system is broken. And I apologize to all the great judges, all the great JPs, but the system is broken, and we have to change the system. Over to you, Attorney General. Sorry, it made me feel better. I've been meaning to get this off my shoulders for 7 years.
You should see what he says in private.
But again, enough is enough. The party's over. These people have to stay in jail. And I'm going to be all over the federal government about bail reform, mandatory sentencing, to make sure they give the judges the tools. Matter of fact, the judges have the tools right now. They just don't want to use them. Simple as that. You want to keep a violent criminal in jail, you'll keep them in jail. They just don't want to keep them in jail. Little Johnny was a good little boy. He goes to church every Sunday. Let's let him out for the 6th time to go kick someone's door in and put guns to people's heads, terrorize neighborhoods, go into stores, put guns to people's head. It's done. These people have to be in jail, and they need to be in jail for a long time, and there has to be more accountability. I feel bad saying it because there's fabulous judges out there, fabulous JPs, but like any group, there's some bad apples that just believe in we shouldn't throw anyone in jail. Let them run wild. Let's rob everything. Let's hold people accountable for once in the system. Why don't we post? This judge has let Johnny out 6 times and he just murdered someone. Who's accountable? Does a judge call the family up and say, I'm sorry, I let this guy out? Like, something has to give. I just can't stress it enough. We have laws for a reason. We build jails for a reason. We hire judges for a reason. We hire police for a reason. How do you think our police officers feel? They put their lives on the line, okay, every single day. So let's protect our police. Let's protect our communities. And we need tough on crime judges. You know, one of these judges that are bleeding hearts, I can't wait till they retire. Matter of fact, I'll pay him to retire earlier. I'll pay you out for 2, 3, 4 years. Just get out of the system. But every judge in this country has been politically appointed since before Moses. Maybe Moses was even politically appointed. I don't know. But I'll guarantee you one thing. We're going to be tough on crime. Simple as that. My friends, we're doing whatever it takes to make our streets, our homes, and our communities safe again. But we cannot do it alone. That's why, once again, I'm calling on the federal government to pull its weight and keep our streets safe. With a newly elected federal government now in place, we are counting on them to bring in stronger penalties and more restrictive conditions for bail, so violent repeat offenders stay behind bars and off our streets. We're stepping up, we're cracking down on criminals, and we're standing with law-abiding people of Ontario. I want to thank you, and may God bless the people of Ontario.